Hello and welcome to another episode of Getting Started with Dwarf Fortress, the tutorial series, here with me, the Mooj Mouse. Now I am just sitting along here building, making my fortress bigger, better, stronger every day, getting up to points where I can show you things that we haven't talked about already. And as I'm going about minding my own business, just making a little pond, the were giraffe shows up. Now a were animal is what killed the last fortress of the tutorial series. So this time we are a little bit better prepared. So I thought I'd show you how to quickly deal with were creatures. So I'm just going to hit enter to close this. The game is paused, and that is very important. We want it to be paused because now we need to do some things. First thing I want to do is hit U to find units and go to other. And we have the were giraffe here. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to hit Z to go to unit. And I'm going to see, okay, it's down here. So comparatively, our gate is up here. He is down here. There are a couple of things you should definitely do at this point. And I usually put off doing until I have this problem. I have one dwarf out here. He is probably going to die, but that's okay. So what we would like to do now is to make sure that all our dwarves stay inside, and we're going to close the gates, which is the most effective way to get rid of a were animal, because a were animal only lasts for a little while until the moon phase is over, and then it reverts back to an elf or a dwarf or whatever it was and runs away, and we're safe. What we don't want happening is that it's going to attack and bite our dwarfs, because that would transfer the were curse, and that is going to turn into a downward spiral for our fortress, where everyone is going to start freaking out and becoming were giraffes every time the full moon arrives and kill everyone. And that's going to escalate and spread, and everyone's going to be were creatures and kill each other at some point. But to get our dwarfs under control now, I'm going to hit W, which is a key that will take us to make burrows. Now I have something called a wood clearing burrow here, which is something we haven't talked about. But what we want to do now is hit A to add a new burrow. That is burrow 2. And I'm going to hit enter to define this burrow. Quickly going to name it safety. Now you could go around and make the dwarfs or assign the entire fortress to safety, but in the interest of time here, I am going to just go down and I'm going to set this floor like so. Say this is safety. I didn't pick this floor at random. This is a fairly important part here, is that this lever is here, and that is what controls the gates. So I want at least that to be within my safety zone for the dwarfs to be able to pull the lever. And the reason you don't really have to go around defining the entire fortress under the safety zone is that we just want it to trigger an alert. We want to set a civilian alert and assign this burrow to the civilians so that all civilian dwarfs have to go to the burrow. And that means that anyone who is outside or otherwise engaged in something will head towards the burrow as soon as I activate the alert, bringing them inside. Now once the gates are shut, we can disable the alert because there's no way for the dwarfs to go outside anymore. So it's just sort of a everyone go here type of alert. So now we have defined the burrow. We have it called safety. I'm going to exit out of that. We are still paused because we want to do all of these things now before we unpause, so as to have the most chance of success. Now I'm hoping what's going to happen eventually is that once I unpause, the were creature is going to go for this dwarf. He's going to buy us some time for the gates to close, and yeah, he's going to die, but it will be for the good of the fortress. So now we hit M to go to the military screen. And then we hit A to go to alerts. And right now we can see there is an alert called inactive, which is the standard alert everyone's at. That is the civilian alert because it says civ behind it. And there's really no burrow, or any burrow is acceptable for the dwarves. So they can go basically anywhere. But we will make a new alert. And for that, I'm going to hit C, add alert. I'm going to hit capital N to name it. And I'm going to call that siege or danger. 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 Oh, whatever. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to activate safety for the danger alert. So that once I toggle the danger alert for civilians, they will have to be in the safety burrow. And the way I do that is just by going to danger and hitting enter. We see it says up here, enter set civilian alert. I'm going to do that, danger. I'm going to go back. We're going to go down to our dining hall. I'm going to add a task here to pull this lever. And I'm also going to do N to make this top priority. And now we can go down here, cross our fingers that the Werebeast doesn't get in. So we're going to unpause. Now. There we go. They're running. They're running. The Werebeast is going in the opposite direction. That is good. He attacked him. Where did the Werebeast go? And we're going into save. So I'm going to have to wait for the save, and I will be back with you once the save is done. Alright, save successfully completed. We are going to hit U. We're going to zoom to the Werebeast. And now I'm going to hit F to follow him before I unpause, so we can see what he does. And this is to make sure to see if he attacks anyone else. Because there. He killed the carpenter. So I now believe he has killed 2 people. Because they were true dwarfs. And there we see he turned back into the dwarf. Let's see. Has transformed into a dwarf. And he ran away. But what we really would have wanted to... well, not what we would have wanted to happen. We wouldn't have wanted him to kill anyone. But you see there how short of a time that took from when the Werebeast arrived until it turned back into a dwarf. So there's no reason to try to fight it. It'll just end poorly. Someone might get bitten. If it had ended up fighting someone who didn't die, there are 2 ways to protect yourself, or there are several ways to protect yourself. One would be to just outright kill anyone who has fought with it, to make sure that the Were Curse doesn't move into the fortress. Another one would be to quarantine them, to burrow them basically, to build or designate a separate burrow inside a room that you could lock them in there and wait for a full month to pass and see did they turn. If they turn, then yeah, there's a Werebeast and you can keep them in there permanently or kill them. Or if you want to determine ahead of time, you can hit R. Let's see if we can get this to go. R to view the Bloodman. What the hell? To view the combat log. And then we can see here that the carpenter is fighting with the Weregiraffe. And what you want to do is you'll have to go through. If someone fought and didn't die, you would have to go through and look for any injury here where it would pierce the skin. Like, did it pierce? If bruising, that's okay. But did it pierce? Did it bite? Or claw? Anything that pierced the skin would have to transfer the Were Curse to that dwarf. Or, and this is a cheat, just letting you know, you can't cheat here using Dwarf Therapist. So I'm going to open Dwarf Therapist, and there is a special option. We can go in here and it says I am a dirty cheater, and you can say highlight cursed units, We can go read, and then we can scroll through, and we can look for purple. Now, this purple, I believe, is just because he's our mayor. Yeah. But there's going to be a purple highlight over anyone who has a curse. Now, that includes vampires, and it includes were creatures. So you can use that as a bit of a cheat. But that was how easy it is for us to deal with were creatures once we actually have a wall in place. So now we can go to the military alert screen, put civilians back in inactive, go all the way down here, and tell them to pull the lever again. No rush this time. But they can open up the gates again and let dwarves go outside and do some work. Now, keep in mind that we had an accident this time where someone did die. And if we check our combat log again, we will see it was a fisher dwarf who was killed by the weird giraffe, and our carpenter. And I believe I only have one carpenter. I'm going to check dwarf therapist for that again. Let's see. No, we did have 3 carpenters. But that means I am 1 carpenter short, so I'll just go carpentry. You're not particularly good at anything, so you can become a new carpenter in training. There we go. Go train. Like that. So that was just a quick video to show you then how to deal with the werebeasts, how quickly and easy it is. Once we have a wall, it's just lock yourself in and wait. And they'll go away on their own. So I will see you more in the next episode of Getting Started with Dwarf Fortress, where we talk about something completely different. Thanks for now.